Intro. I love you. Danielle is somebody I've always looked up to in this business. And like she mentioned, she used to do my hair because of course she does great hair. So I say, oh, she's a fellow coach. And so we got to know each other at a different level outside of the business. And I've always had a lot of respect for Danielle because she operates her business with integrity. She puts her heart into it. And man, you guys, she's soared. So first and foremost, congratulations to Fanatix. You're the top team on Diesel Nation, ranked number 103 in the entire network. And I think you just have to sit back and appreciate how important that is. You have somebody as a leader who is doing all of the right things, and she's there, she's accessible, she's leading by example every day, she sets the tone. And so you're in a really good place, and you should thank your lucky stars, and congratulations to all of you because it's a really big deal. And I hope that you see that as Danielle has reached this and her entire team has, that each and every single one of you following have the ability to do the same. I feel like I struggled so much last year. And I did hit elite. I was way behind, and I'll go into that a little bit more, but I feel like I know how to help people get there. People that are hungry, that are motivated, that really, really believe in this business and what they're doing, and they want this for their families. We know. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about a couple of the things that I did last year to really blow up my business. And I'm a cheerleader for Beachbody. I won this little thing at our little team competition at the New Leaders Conference. So I had the opportunity to go to Los Angeles, which I saw Danielle do a year ago. And I was like, man, that's really cool. I want to be there. These are the kinds of things you need to take in and embrace. Embrace the success of your upline and your teammates. You shouldn't look at it as a reflection of you, but you should look at it as something that can push you to get there. Because I'm telling you right now, my coach Jenny, she was an emerald. She was positioned very well. But if you were on the Diesel Nation push call, you got to hear from Jenny. She was an emerald in February. She got to 5-star elite. And it doesn't come without a lot of teamwork, but I'm telling you, we have like 11 months and 6 days or however many days. You have to think big picture with Beachbody. And you have to think about, where do you really see yourself in December at the end of the year? What do you want for your family? What do you want your life to look like? Where do you see yourself in this business? And you have to know the sky is the limit. You have to know that. I'm telling you. And Danielle, I'm going to share with you a form that I created for all of my coaches to really get everybody thinking about, okay, what are your goals? And what do you see your life? What does your life look like at the end of December 16th? You know, if you have the magic wand and you can put the time in and you can make the effort, where do you want to be? Income wise, rank wise, but what does your life look like? So I'll share that with you after the call. The first thing I want to start with is, I am just like a normal person. I am nobody special. Danielle's story is pretty different from mine, and I kind of laugh thinking about it now. I was not very interested in this business. I came to Beachbody because I believed in the products, and I loved Shakeology. I had weight that I needed to lose. But I'm an attorney, you guys. I spent 3 years getting my law degree. I killed myself studying for the bar, passing the bar, $40,000 to $50,000 in law school debt. I have my own practice that I've been working really, really hard on. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody could hear me okay. But, you know, I have invested my entire life, everything that I could, in building a law practice because I love practicing law. And so when Christina approached me, my coach is Christina Delgado, and she approached me, and she's a lawyer, so of course we related. But when she approached me about the business, I really wasn't that interested. Hitting Success Club and things like that for a very long time were not on my radar. I was actually more of a discount coach for about 4 or 5 months. And then once I had a transformation, people started coming to me, and I kind of just rolled with it. And so it grew organically from there. And I was a hobby coach for quite some time until I saw that I had coaches with so much potential who I knew would just shine and could build a business. And so I had to take it more seriously. In fact, I think this is an observation, is that I started to put more skin in the game when I saw that I had coaches with a lot of potential. So when I had a coach who said, you know what, oh my gosh, we have to be at Summit. You know what? I took it as, I need to step up my game and understand more, because my responsibility as their sponsor is to help them grow and reach their full potential. So I have to step up my game. So even though it was very part-time, even though I was very much a hobby coach, every time somebody said something, a coach said something to me that resonated with me, it made me elevate myself. It made me work harder, learn more, all of these things that, you know, eventually led us to where we are today, which is, so Danielle mentioned, at the beginning of the year, there were about 60 of us, 60 or 70 of us in 2015. By the end of the year, we're at 650. And, you know, what I've noticed with my downline and with our team is that we end up recruiting people who are motivated. They're excited about this opportunity. And that, I think, just trickles down from the energy that we have when we talk about it. And I think Danielle is just a wonderful example of how you do that. So, I mean, the first thing is, you know, I'm nobody special. I wasn't somebody who came into this, jumped in with both feet, but I think that says it doesn't matter where you are today or what you did last year. Just kind of have a short memory, like you're a pro athlete. You are at the beginning of a new year. It's 2016. Where do you want to go with this business? And understand that you can go anywhere. Understand that, you know, anybody can have success. And something I've observed over the last year is that you can't look at people and say, oh, well, they have a larger network than me. Or, well, they have a job where it's easier for them to invite. Or they have more time, they stay at home. No, the people who are successful in this business earn it because they work hard. They understand and they learn their craft. They're constantly students of what we do, and they're always trying to get better. My coach, Christina, is a superstar diamond, and she says all the time, my goal is to learn something every single day. I'm a student. I absorb things. And so if somebody at that level who's that successful understands the importance of always trying to learn something new, then we should all very much be open to learning something every single day in this business. So there's a few things that I want to go through. I'll mention briefly. Okay, so I ended up hitting Elite last year. I was way behind. So on August 1st, I had 40 points. And if you know anything about Elite, you have to hit 135. So I had less than a third of the amount of points needed to hit this huge goal that I had set for myself, but I really didn't understand what it meant. And then I had 4 to 5 months to actually get there. And I think that doesn't happen without support. So first of all, my first tip is you need to have a support system. And it starts with your team, obviously, but who do you live with? I mean, your spouse and your family need to be on board with what you're doing. They need to understand how important it is to you. They need to know what your goals are in this business. My business made a huge shift when my husband understood how important it was to me. And it started on our anniversary in October of 2014, okay? My coach was in a qualification period. He didn't want to hear about Beachbody. She was in a qualification period and I was in tears. And I don't really cry a lot. I mean, I just don't. But I was upset because I felt like I was going to let her down because if I dropped rank, she fell out of her qualification. And so he very quickly understood, no, this matters and it's important. And so he started to see, oh, okay, this is really important to her. So let me understand more what's involved. You guys, for 1.5 years, my husband complained and asked me to stop playing on Facebook. Now he understands more about the business, advanced placement, volume, the previous office view, and very, very high level concepts with Beachbody than many of our diamond coaches. I'm telling you, like, he's a pro. And it's because over time, he started to understand how important it was to me. So my first tip is, if your husband doesn't really see the big picture, you need to help them understand. It doesn't have to be a husband. I mean, it can be your parents or a sister or somebody. You need somebody to run this race with you in addition to your team. It's really important because, you know, there are ups and downs, and you want to have somebody on your side supporting you no matter what. And that can make all the difference. It's the same thing that goes conversely with your team. I mean, you want to instill the same thing in every single person you sponsor. One of the biggest things I think for me last year was just really focusing on instilling confidence in coaches. Doesn't matter whether I sponsored them or not. I think when you come in brand new, it can be overwhelming. And your role, and by the way, if you have one coach, you're a leader, right? Your role is to instill confidence in your coaches. Point out and celebrate the things that they're doing right. And it doesn't matter if it's business related or not. If they're making strides in their transformation, they're getting consistent in posting on social media, you celebrate everything. We just discussed corporate wide that our fourth vital behavior is going to be recognition. And of course it should be recognition. It's so critical. It's so critical. So if you have one coach, you are their cheerleader. That is your job. It is your job to mentor them, but it's also your job to instill confidence in them, to help them see that they can do it. And of course, one of the ways you do that is by setting the tone and setting the example and being a leader yourself and working towards everything we know we're supposed to do. But I think that's really important. So a couple of tips that I wrote down that I think really helped me last year that I want you to think about, because the purpose of this call is for you to walk away knowing you have the ability to get to whatever level you decide in this next 12 months. That's the purpose. You need to know the sky's the limit. It's way up here. You decide. And it's very important that you jump in. I didn't do that like Danielle did. If I could go back, I would absolutely do it the way she did, because I feel like I've missed out on so much, because for 8 or 9 months, I was kind of just laying there floating around like, oh, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I love Shakeology, but didn't really focus in on the business side. I want you to take advantage of the fact that you are being led by the number 103 coach in all of the land. Like, that's a really big deal. So you should really be paying attention to how Danielle posts on social media. You should really kind of like jump with both hands up in the air. I'll be in your training, and then you should really just engage in that training, because she's going to give you all of the tools. All of the tools are there. It's just up to you on how you execute. Okay, so my first official tip: show up for your business. If you really want to have success with Beachbody, it's not enough just to kind of sort of float in and out of your team page. You need to show up to events. You need to take it upon yourself to be assertive and to train yourself and to understand how the back office works and to take advantage of the training. You really need to immerse yourself, right? If you're a business builder and you have big goals and you have big dreams, and we all should, because we deserve it, take advantage of it, but show up for your business every single day. There's no replacing what going to events provides for you. The speakers. Guys, if you're in South Florida, we have one of the largest events. You have to make the time to go to Super Saturday. They're only once a quarter. You know, there's no reason, if you're wanting to move your business forward, you show up, because you know what? You meet people, you have conversations. Danielle mentioned that I blew up and I advanced to diamond during the push. Well, incidentally, in January that year, I went to Super Saturday and I had a conversation with a coach. She's not even on our team. She's somebody I met from the Franklin Covey time management seminar. Her name is Lori, and she's wonderful. And so we talked for 15 minutes after the event. And I sat there and I told her, well, I'm a professional, I'm a lawyer, I worry about what I post on social media and everybody's perception of me. And she's like, wow, you're really holding yourself back. And she said it and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And we just had this really deep conversation for like 10 minutes after an event. And then 5 weeks later, I go diamond. These are the kind of things that you really come to appreciate. Had I not gone to the event, that was a total aha moment for me. If I had not gone to the event, Lori wouldn't have been able to get through to me. I wouldn't have had that shift in my mindset, and I wouldn't have signed 6 coaches in a matter of 3, 4, 5 weeks. So these things matter. Being around the energy, meeting people, having conversations, investing in your business, treating it like a $1 million business, all these things really matter. It's number one for me. Another thing I want to mention is I've had the opportunity to see some girls in our downline, not girls that I've personally sponsored, but girls on No Limits Fitness who advanced to diamond in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, very quickly. And so there's some qualities that I've seen from them, and I'd like to share them with you because, again, I think this is something that everybody's capable of. It's just a matter of, are you going to put in the work? So these girls came in, first of all, they were hungry, and they they were go-getters. They wanted it from the beginning. They were very self-assertive, and they were very resourceful. They went in on Erica, one coach, subscribed to Scotty Hobbs' coach newsletters. It doesn't matter whether you're one of Scotty's coaches or not, but she would get his newsletter, she would read them. She spent an hour on YouTube every night, studying different top coaches' videos. She went out there and she learned what she needed to know. She jumped in with both feet. Something else she did was she listened to everything her coaches said. So she was in the training, she did everything, she implemented it, she executed quickly. Everything her coach said, she did it. So I think that comes with really, what are your goals? And if you're wanting to advance quickly, these are the kinds of things you can do. I've seen it over and over and over again. It's just a matter of, when you wake up in the morning, are you fired up and thinking like, who am I going to help today? What is going to happen today? What can I do to change my family situation? How am I going to get to my goal? Or do you wake up and say, I didn't get enough rest. I think I'm going to lay low on social media. I don't think I'm going to post today. No, we don't do that, because if you're driven and you're excited about this business, you're going to talk about it every day and you're going to be consistent. I'm sick right now. I had 2 kids home today. It doesn't matter. I could talk about Beachbody 24/7 because I love it. I'm passionate about it because I believe in it, because I've seen people before us, and that was my example, right? Before I was earning a full-time income, I saw my coach do it. I saw Danielle do it. I saw Katie Green do it. I saw a number of coaches. And they work hard, you guys. It's not, some secret sauce. It's everything we've given you and all of the tools and training that you have available to you. Are you putting it to practice? Are you putting it into practice? So tip 1, show up for your business. Tip 2, you need to run your own race. This is really important. So you may be looking to the left and right of you, and maybe so-and-so, Susie Q, hits, Success Club 30 every month, and you're like, I'm just no good at this, and you just constantly compare yourself to other people. Not a good idea, right? It will paralyze you. It will paralyze your growth in this business. You have to understand that your goals may not be the same as everybody else's, and we all have different paths. Danielle's path was different from mine. She did jump up with both feet. She jumped in, she went all in, and she had incredible success early and continued it. Now, another coach that I started right around the same time was Katie Green. Katie Green's is 12-star diamond. She's one of the most successful coaches in our entire, from our upline. If I had really just focused on how well they were doing, whether or not I was putting in the work, because you guys, I wasn't putting in the work, but if I was like, oh man, she's earning 6 figures, I'm nowhere close. If I had said that, I wouldn't be where I am today. You cannot let that paralyze you. You cannot let that stop you from what your goals are. And you have to understand we all have different journeys. And I make it a point to say, I was a discount coach for a long time. It took me, from the time I signed, I think I signed my first coach like 7 months into coaching, and then another 2 months later, but then about 2 months later, I was a diamond. But you know what? It's not a reflection of your abilities. It's just a reflection of what you're putting into your business. And so I think if you're if you take an honest inventory of where you are, I think we all know the things that we're supposed to be doing. If you're in training, you understand the 3 vital behaviors are called vital behaviors because they are vital to your business. And the power of 3 is something you need to be doing every single day. And when you do that, you're increasing your probability, right? You're talking and reaching more people, and you are going to get more yeses. It's statistically like it will happen. So you really have to take an honest inventory of where you are, what are the things you're doing well, what are the things you need to work on. Are you reading PD every day? Are you working out consistently? It always starts with your own journey. So you got to really dial that in first and foremost so that you are passionate about what we can provide as coaches. It's not that you have to be perfect, but you have to be working to improve yourself every day. So run your own race. We are all on our own path. We should absolutely celebrate other people's success, and we can look at what people are doing and learn from it and applaud them, but understand that it's all there for us as well. There's never any shortage of people to help, never. Okay, so number 3 is get dialed in with your goals and your markers. So when I talk about owning and showing up for your business, you really have to take ownership of your business and really evaluate what has your production been previously. And then every month you should be trying to work to get better. So whether it's in terms of recruiting, Success Club points, the vital behaviors, doing more instead of reaching 3 people, the next month you're gonna do 5 every day, because the goal is to grow and get better every single month. And I only tell you this because I just heard Melanie Mitro tell me at the New Leader Conference that that's what she does. So it's a big, the very best people, they all do this. They all set goals for themselves. So I'm going to share with Danielle the form that I used, and I'm sure that all of you have written out your goals. Your goals should be month-long, short-term, long-term. Your goals should be related to not only your business, but personally, the goals with respect to your family, how you see your life. All of these things, you really, really need to think about all of that to create your vision for yourself. Now, you do that, by the way, you do that because you want your coaches to do that, because that's how they succeed. So get dialed into your goals, pin them up. It's very basic concept, but it's true. When you write it down, it's more, even at a subconscious level, in the back of your mind, this is what I'm aiming for, and you work harder for it. I can give you another great example of this, which is that in January of 2015, I did my vision board like everybody else, and one of the goals that I had was to take my family on a ski vacation. Again, from January through June, my team experienced like exponential growth, and I was kind of just trying to manage that and bounce my law firm and not go crazy, and I wasn't really looking at my goal list every day. I did have it right above my laptop where I worked on my workstation, so I did see it. Well, come like September, I'm like, wow, my income is right there, and this can be a reality. I would really, really, it would be a dream come true to take my family to Aspen. I've always dreamed of it. It was something I set as a goal in January only because it's something I've always wanted to do. It's like a bucket list item. I've always wanted to go there. I knew I would love skiing. And you guys, we did it, and I threw it together in December I planned it within a week, but had the income from Beachbody not been there, of course that would not have been possible. And I had been working sort of towards it subconsciously all year long. And because I was working hard, I was putting in the effort, the income was there, and it allowed me to do something wild, unimaginable, just we didn't have a care in the world, and it was the best vacation I've ever been on. And it meant a lot to my family, and we'll never forget it. So the importance of these vision boards and setting these goals for yourselves, it cannot be said enough. You need to do it. You just have to do it. Really dream and think big when you make these goals for yourself. It makes a difference. So that was number 3. Okay, this is like my baby right here. Number 4 is developing a team culture, developing a culture of success, but team culture in general. Again, if you have one coach, you're a leader, you need to start developing the culture now. That's the single most important factor in how I think we grew so quickly as a team this last year, is that all I knew was I loved my team, my entire downline, and I wanted everybody that came in to feel like they were welcomed, they were appreciated, like they mattered, and that I cared about them. And that I knew them, you know, I mean, it's, you get so big. So I think, you know, developing that within your own downlines is really important. You need to know who your coaches are. You need to know who your coaches are signing and find out about them. I think it's really important to have, something relatable and to know them outside of Beachbody, like to understand them as a person and appreciate them as a person. Of course, if they're sharing their lives on their pages, you get a sense of them. But the point is that when people come into your team, which if you have 4, 5, 6 coaches, you should really have your own team page. You want them to feel like they're part of the family. And I learned this from Diesel Nation. I learned it from them. When I came in, the only person I knew was Christina, and Mindy Horde would post all of this great stuff, and I would private message her and say, what did you mean by this? And she would email me, and she would literally step by step explain things to me. And she had no direct impact. Like, I had no impact on her financially. She didn't have to take 5 or 10 minutes out of her day to do that. She did it because she was paying it forward. And that's what we do as coaches. So, I mean, really, when you want to introduce people to this product, you're paying it forward. You believe in our products, and you want other people to experience what you've experienced. And so that's the same thing we do in our team. And I think it cannot be said enough. How you treat people and taking an interest in them is really important. It makes them more invested in what you're doing as a team. It makes them excited. It makes them feel like they are part of something, and it is critical. So team culture, you know, it's key. The next thing is eliminating your holdbacks and the things that are setting you back from getting to where you want to be in this business. If you're on the call with Tony Robbins, Peak Performance Strategist, that was an amazing call. That was really, really high level stuff. Go back, find out the recording. If you weren't on, you need to listen to it. But what he identified is, as we went through and all of the coaches said, okay, these are the things that are preventing me from getting to where I want to be. Here's the main things. I'm gonna summarize for you. So the main reasons why people don't succeed as a coach or they don't reach their full potential, they have self-doubt, they have a fear of failure, or they don't feel like they can make the time to understand and learn the business. So, I mean, the first two, pretty quickly, we can knock out with personal development. If you feel like you're doubting yourself or you don't know if you can do it, you really need to dive into personal development. And I'm sure Danielle's told you this, but okay, you know you need to do it. If the books aren't working for you, you need to dedicate 20 minutes to an audio. You need to hop on YouTube. I mean, there's so many great resources out there. It's all there and available for you. And you need to immerse yourself in it And really, I mean, personal development is training your brain for success. That's how you have to look at it. The same way you work out your body, you have to work your mind, because all of these things have happened to us and we have these self-limiting beliefs. It's really, really important that you have the right mindset when you're trying to reach people and trying to invite them to join you in what you're doing. Like attracts like. And so if you're not feeling good about where you are, it's reflected on your page. You attract those kind of people. What you want to attract are people who want to go where you're going and who are like you. And on that note, I'll just share that Melanie, my biggest takeaway from Melanie Mitro at the New Leader Conference, when she was talking about developing a recruiting culture, I want you to pay attention, because this really hit me. She said, do not recruit and talk to people as a broad base. She said, make your message specific to your niche market. And your niche market is people exactly like you. So that needs to be really well defined. It needs to be written out. You need to describe, are you a do-it-yourselfer? Are you like an adventure seeker? Are you a stay-at-home mom who loves your kids? But it needs to be very, very specific. And all of your posts related to recruiting and having people join your challenge group, they all need to come back to the kinds of people just like you that you're wanting to attract to this business. And so I think that's really important, because I think when I was recruiting, and I mean, I'm still learning this obviously, but when I recruit, I don't want to miss anybody. So I'm like so broad, but it's wrong. That's not wrong. You want a specific target audience. You define it. Those are the people you're looking for. And they need to be the people that you're wanting to grow and build a business with you, your business partners. So your message has to be very specific to them. Okay, so I talked about the two main things, right? Self-doubt and fear of failure. The third thing is time. That was my thing, right? Nobody has time to really delve into this business and really understand the ins and outs. Wrong, excuse, no, not right. You guys, I mean, I spent 3 years in law school. I have a successful law practice. That was me. I made the excuses for a while. I think when you really, truly understand the potential with the business, nothing would hold you back from that. And also, I was very reassured when I heard that Melanie Mitro had the same issue, because her husband basically issued her an ultimatum and said, you either choose us or the business. And she had already like fallen in love with Beachbody. So she said, nope, that's okay. I'm just going to get really good at time management. And guess what? She became a student of time management. She read Eat the Frog. She implemented everything. I've listened to it on audio 3 times. So if time management is your issue and your concern and your problem and your challenge, then tackle it. Listen to Eat That Frog and start implementing it. It goes back to PD, but these are things that we can all overcome. Like, we're all busy. We just have to prioritize. You know, we just have to prioritize. I have balanced my law practice. Sometimes it's 40 hours a week. Sometimes it's 50. Sometimes it's less. I am a runner. I do run, train for marathons. So there's running involved with my training as well. I have 2 young kids. But here's the thing that I recognize and appreciate is that no matter how busy I am, there's always people more busy. And that's what I do for me to kind of gain perspective is when I think about, man, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I am not functioning right now. I think about my friend who's in residency getting a medical degree, and she works 80 hours a week, So if she works 80 hours a week and she got through 2 pregnancies, then I can handle this, So it's all in your perspective. Like, no matter if you're full-time, if you're stay-at-home mom, you can make the time for this, and I promise you it's worth it. I promise. So, eliminate those setbacks, those things that hold you back. And look, we all have self-doubt. We all have, this fear of failure. And I think as soon as you let the walls down and you just don't really care about what people think of you because you're so focused on your goals, not only that, but reaching people and truly helping them and change their lives, then everything else will fall into place. It's really not going to matter who's on board or not, because you're focused on the people that you can help. That's the focus. Last tip is really just knowing and believing in your heart that you can do this. And I hope I've expressed tonight that I think everybody here has the ability to go to that next level. Everybody here can not only replace your income, but earn a whole heck of a lot more in a lot less time. Being your own boss, going by your own rules, working at the hours that you set for yourself by your own rules. It's a really big deal. And so I hope everybody appreciates that. We had the opportunity to hear briefly from Ruth Schroner. Her last name is Schraunner, and I think she's like Get Ginger Fit or something on Instagram. But she is in the Southeast region, and she started here in January. She was a star diamond. By the end of the year, she had 80 people in her downline. She had a team of 80. By the end of the year, she was a top 20 team. That's super impressive. Okay, so what she told us was that on March 1st, she had this meeting, this huge team meeting, and she said, bring your big scary goals. I'm going to share mine. And she said her hands were shaking. She wanted to throw up, and she said, look, you guys, we can do this. We're going to be a top 10 team. 80 people. And you know what? They got to top 20. She's an elite coach. She has a huge following on Instagram. She is a success story. She did it in 10 months. 10 months. So it's really your heart, your desire, your goals, what you want for yourself. And I think the most important thing is really just knowing in your heart that you can do it, really wanting it, knowing why you want it. Danielle is a big proponent of knowing why and letting that drive you every day. Please sign up for the Team Cup, you guys. It's a huge driver for your business statistically. If you want to advance your business, you need to be in the Team Cup. And if you don't participate, it's a message that you're not wanting to grow your business. So participate in the Team Cup, team up, learn from each other, create those bonds and start moving forward. That's what it's all about. So that's really all I had, Danielle.
Care up. You are amazing. Home run. Seriously, let me just review real quick because I wrote down these amazing notes. Are you guys going to put in the work? Ultimately, that's what comes down to it all. I mean, Kara put in the work. I put in the work, and it shows. It's like black or white, guys. I don't believe in being lukewarm here. It's all in or nothing. If you're running, be resourceful. And I know you've heard this saying, it doesn't matter how many resources there are. Are you going to be resourceful? Are you going to be the one to go and get the resources? Run your own race. It's not a reflection of your abilities, but it's what you're putting into your business. Whoa. Get dialed into your goals and markers, ownership of your business, team culture of success. This is the key. Eliminating your holdbacks, personal development, your brain for success. I mean, personal development, I think, is hands down number one. I love that you mentioned that. Recruiting by your message, speak to those people. Like, for example, I speak to moms. I want struggling moms, people that need a life change. What is yours? Write it down. That was awesome. Time. Eat that frog, guys. Download Eat That Frog.
Yes,
how busy I am, there's always people more busy. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I loved it. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much for speaking to us and opening your heart. I love your story. And I was stalking you while you were on that ski trip, and you gave me chills, and I almost had tears because that's what this is about. Like, that memory, and building that little dream for your family. That is that freedom, like, that's so special. Honestly, that's what this is about. When I went to Virginia, the same thing. I went for, I think it was 11 days, and it just was no care in the world. And it opened my eyes to, wow, I put in the work, and it can give my family this dream life that I didn't have to worry about showing up to a job, So I loved watching you. I was stalking you. And then I was stalking you at the New Leader Conference. I'm just so happy for all your success. You deserve it. You're being blessed. And, like the saying goes, you bless people, you are blessed in return. So thank you so much. I love you. I love you guys. And I hope you guys got so much out of this call, and have a wonderful night, guys. Make sure you show a lot of love to Kara on her page, guys. All right. See you later.